Cereal, orange juice, and milk contains 230 calories. So I'll help you in this process. Then you can come up here and fill in the blanks.
I can tell you the answer.
The answer is
4,184.
The answer is 4,184.
That's you.
Okay, so if you can fill in the boxes there.
It's like mushy and then crunchy.
What are we talking about?
Good job. Do this. We isolate the variable we want. We just insert the data that's given over here. Negative specific heat values. Why, Jacob? Or Jake? Sorry. Why don't you have any negative specific heat values? Okay. How many calories are in water? Right, there are 0 calories in water because you can't like heat water with water. So that's kind of what's going on here. You can't have negative specific heat because right.
That's a cup of water. Cold water.
You're still using heat though. You're not using water to warm water. But it's pouring water making it warmer.
But what if you take water from a hotter source and water from a colder source and you mix them together?
Does this heat like balances out? Makes water
Very confused.
Well, if you buy water at the store, it will say there's 0 calories in water because you can't strike a match to water and burn it.
But also, if you pour
You're in a hotter room temperature.
then the boiling water.
Like my room is usually 75, but
Right, but we're just talking water by itself. If you just take water by itself, you cannot heat other water with it. That's the whole point behind calories. Is that when you add food to your body, basically you're adding heat. Your body breaks that down and produces heat. So you're not going to get any lower than 0. 0, as far as specific heat is concerned, is the lowest you're going to go. You're not going to get anything less than 0 calories. Water is kind of like the borderline there. He just told us which element has the lowest specific heat.
That's the highest one too.
Okay, what was the highest?
The highest was hydrogen.
Hydrogen's the highest, very good, 14. So which one's the lowest? Radon. Now, where would you find radon? Remember where you find radon?
In the ground.
Why is it dangerous for you?
It's radioactive.
Radioactive. What does it decay into? Lead.
Oh.
So if you build your house on like a limestone rock and it's releasing radon, which many do in our area, your realtor will come and they'll do a radon test before you can sell your house. And if they find radon in your basement, you have to have a radon pump installed. They have to drill into your floor and then pump. There has to be a fan constantly circulating so you don't breathe radon in, because that would lead to like lead. The EPA has a zero amount of lead that you can put in your body. They have a 0 tolerance for lead. Now, Cody, why does the EPA have a 0 tolerance for lead in your body?
Very bad.
What does it specifically damage?
Your liver.
Your liver and what else?
Lung.
What else?
Your heart. Your brain. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
your
it cuts out
brain.
oxygen.
Yeah, it's a serious problem with like affecting your brain. Lead exposure, lower IQ, reduced potential for learning, but the precise mechanism by which lead alters nerve cells in the brain has largely remained unknown. So, you could do some research on that, Jake. We don't really know for certain what's happening with lead in the brain. Now, this was published in 2012, so other studies might be more current. But just to let you know, in 2012, we're not sure. Yeah.
This dude has an A in Prashant, you got like an A plus.
right over there. Calculator.
Oh my God.
So the study guide for the quiz test tomorrow, we have number 8. How much heat is evolved from 54 grams of glucose, C6H12O6, according to the equation for calculating heat? Now the equation says C15H12O6. That's a typo. Even though it's a typo, we're going to keep the delta H there and go along with the problem, because you need to know that people make mistakes. This is just evidence of that. So up here, the first thing we want to do is find out the mass, the molar mass for glucose. So you have on the periodic table the mass of carbon is 12 times 6. 6 times 12 is 72. Then we have 12 hydrogens times 1. The mass of hydrogen is 1, so that's going to be plus 12. And we have oxygen is 16. We have 6 of those times 6. What's 16 times 6? 96. And you add that up, it equals 180 grams. So that's the molar mass for glucose. So we have 180 grams per mole of C6H12O6. Now you're given 54 grams, right? And what we're going to do, we're going to divide this because we want the grams to cross out and be in moles. So 54 divided by 180 equals 0.3 mole of glucose, C6H12O6. All right, so we're going to take our 0.3 that we calculated, what was given from the 54 grams, and then we're going to take 0.3 times the kilojoules. 1 mole is equivalent to negative 2808 kilojoules. So our answer is going to be, anybody figure that out? 0.3 times 2808. Now this is the tricky part. Is the answer on number 8, is it a negative in the answer? On 8, do you see a negative number there for the answer in number 8? Is A negative? No. Is B negative? No. Is C negative? No. Is D negative? No. So all we're doing here is showing the value for 0.3 instead of 1 mole. So why isn't the answer in negative?
The answer is negative.
The answer is not in negative. So if you look on the problem, the answer is not given in a negative value. Why?
Because you can't have negative.
No, it shows you right there in the problem. It's delta H negative 2808 kilojoules. And all you're doing is multiplying it by 0.3. So why isn't the answer in negative? What is the answer? Anybody know? What did you come up with?
I got negative 84, but...
No, it's 0.3 times 2808.
Oh, 8. Okay. I didn't see that 8.
Correction, 0.3 times 2808. So why is the answer on the problem here not negative? Well, if you look at how the problem is worded, this is where the qualitative aspect of chemistry comes in. It says in the question there, how much heat is evolved? What does evolved mean?
Yeah.
Given off. It doesn't say absorbed, it says evolved. Now if it said absorbed, that would be a problem. Because the positive value of delta H means it's being absorbed. When you see a delta H with no negative sign there, that's telling you heat is being absorbed. You're familiar with that? Like if I touch an ice cube, the ice cube is absorbing heat from me. Make sense?
So would it be positive?
It's positive because they're qualitatively telling you that the heat is, what's the word again? What do they say there? The heat is evolved. That means it's coming off. So you know it's going to be negative. So the answer is going to be 842. Now I'm just bringing this to your attention because it's pretty tricky.
So D.
Yeah, just like you see over here in this word problem in the book. It says with the release of 114 joules, right? And it's not a negative value here, but it's telling you that it's releasing Q. What is Q again? Q starts with H.
Heat.
Yeah, Q is heat. Very good. So keep that in mind when you are solving these problems. It can be a little tricky. When we're doing these problems, don't forget to put the unit. The moles cross out here, and we're left with kilojoules. Remember that kilojoules is a heat. So delta H would be equivalent to Q, or heat.